Good afternoon, everyone. We are here with break 278, our 24 Traders mini combo break, which consists of 4 24 Traders Titanium boxes, 1 24 Traders Titanium Priority Box, 21 Traders Hobby Box, and 10 10 hobby packs, starter packs. As usual, we will get started with the hobbies starters first. Just bringing up the team list and the chat screen. Today's team list, we've got Broncos, Aaron Livingston, Raiders, Peter Lowe, Bulldogs, DK, Sharks, Brad Dukes, Dolphins, Dean Ryan, Titans, Peter Lowe, Manly, Lauren Plath, Storm, Stephen Gillard, Knights, Adam Flint, Cowboys, Stephen Gillard, Eels, Cameron Dawson, Panthers, Peter Lowe, Rabbitohs, Cameron Dawson, as well as Dragons and Roosters for Cameron Dawson, Warriors, Jen Hunt, Tigers, Dean Ryan. We have our State of Origin Pick the Score giveaway going on in our Facebook group at the moment, and the prize for win is a matching set of number 1223 rivalry case cards. So we've got Matt Burton, Millie Boyle, Cameron Munster, and Taryn Aiken, all matching number 12s. To be eligible for that, you must have made a purchase within 2024 on the website. Gold Coast trading cards. Alright, let's get stuck into these. Few people joining. Welcome, guys. In the copper, number 58, Shante Aratu for the Titans. In the silver, number 87, Georgia Roach. Number 172 in the copper, Amoli Olaka-Atu. In the gold, number 66, Luke Keary for the Roosters. In the copper, number 120, Braden Hamlin-Yuli for the Sharks. In the silver, number 54, Elsie Albert for the Eels. Four starter packs to go. In the gold, number 32, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. In the gold, number 42, Ewan Aiken. In the copper, number 20, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. And Artie last. In the copper, number 178, Racine McGregor for the Dragons. Alright, let's get these packets opened. Sword and Shield, Jack DeBellin for the Dragons. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Rising Stars, Thomas Hazelton for the Sharks. Matt Burton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Women's NRL, Haley Maddock for the Broncos. Jack DeBellin, parallel for the Dragons. World in League, Jacob Saifiti for the Knights. Jordan Rapana, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Ryan Rivet for the Knights. Will Warbrick, parallel for the Storm. Racine McGregor, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Luke Keary, parallel for the Roosters. Sorry about that, guys. Jason Tormalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Sienna Lefipu for the Titans. Rising Stars, Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Jerome Hughes, showcase characters for the Storm. Alexander Bribson, parallel for the Titans. Club hero Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Jamal Fogarty, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Talon De Silva for the Tigers. Jerome Hughes, parallel for the Storm. Season to remember, Xavier Coates for Storm. Roosters parallel checklist. Season to remember, Valance to wear for the Dolphins. Bulldogs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Sanua Taruva for the Panthers. Philip Semi, parallel for Titans. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Junior Tupou, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Will Warbrick for Storm. Tolotol Koala, parallel for Manly. Showcase character group card. We randomise that between all 17 spots at the end. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. World in League, Saratoga Tuki for the Tigers. Tavita Tatola, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Star, Sienna Lefipu for the Titans. Ezra Mam, parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Racing McGregor for the Dragons. Tommy Dearden, parallel for Cowboys. Sword and Shield, Max King for the Bulldogs. Cameron Munster, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Ryan Rivet for the Knights. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Season to Remember, Tyrone Peachy for the Panthers. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. World in League, Georgia Roach for the Knights. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Blake Wilson for the Bulldogs. Isaac Tago, parallel for Panthers. Parallel Apasai Coruscant for the Tigers. Season to Remember, Sean Johnson for Warriors. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for Eels. Rising Stars, Sanua Taruva for Panthers. Reed Marnie, parallel for the Bulldogs. Ben Hunt, parallel for the Dragons to finish it off. All right. Let's get stuck into our 4 titaniums. Box number 1. World in League, Lachlan Ilias for the Rabbitohs. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Thomas Hazelton for the Sharks. Apasai Coruscant, parallel for the Tigers. Season to Remember, Jelly Cherry Evans for Manly. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. Showcase Corey Horsburgh for the Raiders. Isaac Tago parallel for Panthers. It does feel like it's been a while, Alex. Hello, hello. Rising Stars, Wiremu Greek for the Eels. Roosters parallel checklist. Women's NRL, Tyler Wong for the Dragons. Jamal Fogarty parallel for the Raiders. World in League, Shael Aretti for the Raiders. Jerome Hughes parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Ryan Rivet for the Knights. Jackson Ford parallel for the Warriors. Making a mess. Rising Stars, Tane for the Warriors. Jack DeBellin parallel for the Dragons. Season to remember, Nick Meaney for Storm. Mitchell Moses parallel for the Eels. Gold parallel, Renato Molitalo for the Sharks, number 63. Yes, Matt Purton parallel for the Bulldogs. With Mum and Dad going away tomorrow, everything's a bit more time consuming, so get it out of the way today. Holly Dodd, Rising Stars for the Raiders. Dave Fafita parallel for the Titans. The girls wanted to come down and see them today anyway, before they went. Club Heroes, Clint Gufferson for the Eels. Reece Robson parallel for the Cowboys. Sword and Shield, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Jai Arrow parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Ryan Couchman for the Dragons. Kurt Catewell parallel for the Broncos. Gold parallel, Hannah Southwell for the Knights, number 8. Tigers parallel checklist. Emma Manzelman, Women's NRL for the Cowboys. Kane Ponga parallel for the Knights. Yep, so to speak. Rising Stars, Sanila Taruva for Panthers. Jake Boyevich parallel for Manly. Club Hero, Sean Johnson for the Warriors. Dylan Edwards parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Mackenzie Wiki for the Raiders. James Tedesco, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Star, Sienna Lafipu for the Titans. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Sword and Shield for the Rabbitohs. Cheers, mate. Cam Munster, parallel for the Storm. World in League, Georgia Roach for the Knights. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Xavier Willison for the Broncos. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Season to remember, Luke Brooks for the Tigers. Bulldogs, parallel checklist. Jermaine Hopgood, Sword and Shield for the Eels. Philip Semi, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Will Warbrick for the Storm. Tommy Dearden, parallel for Cowboys. Women's NRL, Destiny Brill for the Broncos. Tavita Tatala, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Showcase Tolator Koala for Manly. Ezra Mam, parallel for the Broncos. Season to remember, Scott Drinkwater for the Cowboys. Tom Gilbert, parallel for the Dolphins. Has everyone seen that Murray Talagi Elite SIG that's been leaked? Rising Stars, Robert Derby for the Cowboys. Felice Kafusi, parallel for the Dolphins. I mean, as far as I know, it's real. It looks pretty cool. That's more to the point is what I'm getting at. Not a bad looking design to look forward to. Cameron McInnes, season to remember for the Sharks. Chance Nico Klokstad, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Raymond Vega for Manly. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Jacob Saifiti, World in League for the Knights. Junior Tupou, parallel for the Tigers. Only a couple of packets left for our first box. Look, considering what they've done with Traders, I would think so, but I honestly have no idea, Alex. So, Dally M Predictor, number 40 of 40 in the men's for the Titans. They've gone pretty far to include it into Traders now, including the predictors and that. So Tolatoa Koala, parallel for Manly. So yeah, I believe they're probably be a strong presence. World in League, CSF Talakai for the Sharks. Daniel Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Box 1, done and dusted. Just no redemptions. Yeah, right. Damn. See, I don't keep up to date with all those things, Alex. That's Dad's department. He's, yeah, right. Blake Laurie, showcase for the Dragons. Will Warwick, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Brendan Hands for the Eels. Ben Hunt, parallel for Dragons. Mackenzie Wiki, Women's NRL for the Raiders. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for the Eels. World in League, Sanua Taruva for Panthers. Reid Marnie, parallel for the Bulldogs. But they aren't. I don't even know what that one means. It's in their back, but there's something wrong with them. Rising Stars, Ali for the Warriors. AJ Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Dallin Bateen Zalesniak for the Warriors. Jason Tuamlolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Gold parallel, Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys, number 48. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Oh, yep, rightio. Sorry. Ethan Strange for the Raiders. Tony Staggs, parallel for the Broncos. Club Heroes, Blake Brayley for the Sharks. Jesse Bromwich, parallel for the Dolphins. Sword and Shield, Max King for the Bulldogs. Phoenix Crossland, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Toby Couchman for the Dragons. Warriors parallel checklist. Season to remember, Mahalia Murphy for the Eels. Jordan Arapana, parallel for the Raiders. Season to remember, Dominic Young for the Knights. Brighton Nakora, parallel for the Sharks. Tegan Berry, Women's NRL for the Dragons. John Bateman, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Thomas Cant for the Knights. Daly Cherry Evans, parallel for Manly. World in League, Elliot Whitehead for the Raiders. Liam Martin, parallel for Panthers. Mackenzie Wheel, Women's NRL Gold parallel, number 92. For the Gold Stars. Daniel Supo, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Luke Keary, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Shante Ratu for the Titans. Corey Horsburgh, parallel for the Raiders. Club Hero, Simon Matorfa for the Raiders. Always look forward to Origin. Harry Grant, parallel for the Storm. Season to remember, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Zach Lomax, parallel for the Dragons. Talking about Wednesday night Origin, guys, don't forget, pick your score. Pick your score giveaway only in the Facebook group. Matching set of 23 rivalry case cards. Jada Ferguson for the Broncos. Jermaine Hopgood, parallel for the Eels. Good afternoon, mate. Sword and Shield team for the Broncos. Toby Sexton, parallel for the Bulldogs. World in League, Abigail Roach for the Knights. Big Tino, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Jack Howarth for Storm. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Retirement, Sam Williams for the Raiders. Tyrone Munro, season to remember for the Rabbitohs, and a Rabbitohs parallel checklist. I don't know, Alex. Sword and Shield, Jack DeBellin for the Dragons. Normally the easiest way to tell is to check the homepage. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. If they're on the homepage, then they're only recently listed. Rising Stars, Blake Wilson for the Bulldogs. Nathan Cleary, parallel for the Panthers. World in League, Maya Hill Moana for the Roosters. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Zach Labour for the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm not sure. With me having those cards for the giveaway makes me assume that we've probably only recently got them too. Hammer Fido, parallel for the Dolphins, but I don't know. Women's NRL, Jasmine Peters for the Cowboys. Jackson Hastings, parallel for the Knights. Showcase Reuben Cotter for the Cowboys. Adam Fanua Blake, parallel for the Warriors. Premiership Predictor, number 10 for the Women's NRL in the Knights. Yeah, I would have asked Dad, but he's not around, so. Joey Tapine, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Star, Sandon Smith for the Roosters. Sharks, NRL Checklist. World in League, Braden Hamlin Yuli for the Sharks. David Clemmer, parallel for Tigers. Alright, last packet for box number 2. Season to remember, Ewan Aiken for the Dolphins and Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Alright. I pick the score and you'll be right. Showcase Nat Butcher for the Roosters. Titans parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Otessa Poole for the Roosters. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Keezy Apps for the Tigers. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. World in League, Georgia Hale for the Titans. Well, that's what I've missed calling out, the parallel welding leagues. Selwyn Cobbo, parallel for the Broncos. Sorry, guys. Rising Stars, Tyrone Munro for the Rabbitohs. It's actually, when we're sorting cards out of these cases at the moment, it's the only two cards that we have turned over are the welding leagues, so we don't get them mixed up. The Lance to wear, parallel for the Dolphins. Fair enough. Season to remember, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Greg Marzu, parallel for the Knights. Gold parallel to Mayor Martin for the Warriors, number 42. Tamir Martin, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Junior Tupou for the Tigers. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Club Hero, Sunil Taruva for Panthers. Dream Buller, parallel for the Tigers. Sword and Shield, Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys. Manly, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Valance to wear for Dolphins. Isaiah Yeo, parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Patil Avet Welsh for the Tigers. Max King, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember, Luke Keary for the Roosters. Victor Radley, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Emma Tony Gatto for the Sharks. Big Papa, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Andy Robinson for the Sharks. Christian Welsh, parallel for the Storm. Welding League, Saitili Tupanua for the Roosters. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Raymond Vega for Manly. Micah Sivo, parallel for the Eels. Gold parallel, Avania Elite for the Titans, number 160. Eels parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Arthur Stephen for the Eels. Jacob Preston, parallel for the Bulldogs. Club Heroes, Payne Huss for the Broncos. Alafiana Khan-Pierre, parallel for Titans. Season to remember, Blake Wilson for the Bulldogs. Reuben Cotter, parallel for Cowboys. Rising Stars, Peter Holler for the Raiders. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Sword and Shield team for the Storm. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. World in League, April for the Cowboys. Jerry Marshall King, parallel for Dolphins. How's everyone going in their tipping this week? 1 out of 4 for me. Rising Stars, Alexis for the Dragons. Knights, parallel checklist. Season to remember, Alafiana Khan-Pierre for the Titans. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Sword and Shield, Isaiah Yeo for Panthers. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Kayla Romniak for the Knights. Apposite Coruscant, parallel for the Cowboys. World in League, parallel for the Panthers, Sanua Taruva. Mitchell Moses, parallel for Eels. Women's NRL, Jocelyn Keller for the Roosters. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. Eels Showcase, Sean Lane. Isaac Tago, parallel for Panthers. Black Authentic, number 8. Brighton Nakora for the Sharks. Brad Dukes. Matt Burton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Keanu Kinney for the Titans. Roosters, parallel checklist. World in League, Adam Panua Blake for the Warriors. Jamal Fogarty, parallel for the Raiders. Last 2 packets for the box. Season to remember, Micah Sivo for the Eels. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Blake Moser for the Broncos. Jack the Bellin parallel for the Dragons. Alright, let's tidy these ones. Box number 4, our last hobby. Rising Stars, Tom Jenkins for Panthers. Bradman Best, parallel for Knights. Women's NRL, Mackenzie Wheel for the Cowboys. Sean Johnson, parallel for the Warriors. Welding League, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Renato Molitalo, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Tom Weaver for the Titans. Adam Dewey, parallel for Tigers. Season to remember, Ben Javovic for Manly. Amoli Olaka-Atu, parallel for Manly. In gold, parallel, Bulldogs Checklist, number 51. Panthers parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Destiny Abril for the Broncos. Luke Keary, parallel for the Roosters. Club Heroes, Blake Laurie for the Dragons. Jordan Rapana, parallel for the Raiders. Sword and Shield, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Will Warbrick, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Francesca Goldthorpe for the Cowboys. Ben Hunt, parallel for Dragons. That's alright, I'm only a couple different from you, Alex. Don't worry, mate. I've had a shocking run. Reed Marnie, showcase for the Bulldogs. Isaiah Katoa, parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Xavier Coates for Storm. Bryce Cartwright, parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL, Julia Robinson for the Broncos. Reed Marnie, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Sua Wong for the Roosters. Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. League, Anessa Biddle for the Sharks. Jason Tormalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Season to remember, Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. Payne Haas, parallel for the Broncos. Emma Tony Gatto, gold parallel for the Sharks, number 9. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Tallis Duncan for the Rabbitohs. Tony Staggs, parallel for the Broncos. Club hero, Tyrone Munro for the Rabbitohs. Jesse Bromwich, parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Valentine Holmes for the Cowboys. Phoenix Crossland, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Carl Olapu for the Bulldogs. Warriors parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jesse Southwell for the Knights. Cal Graham parallel for the Rabbitohs. Sword and Shield team for the Raiders. Brighton Nakora parallel for the Sharks. World in League, Josh Alloway for Manly. John Bateman parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Eliza Solata for the Tigers. Jelly Cherry Evans parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Liam Martin parallel for Panthers. Sword and Shield, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Daniel Tupou, parallel for Roosters. World in League, parallel for the Broncos, Tony Staggs. Rabbitohs, parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Isaiah Katoa for the Dolphins. Corey Horsburgh, parallel for Raiders. Women's NRL, Cassie Hiku for the Eels. Harry Grant, parallel for the Storm. Showcase, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Zach Lomax, parallel for the Dragons. Got fifth last packet for the box. Initial Authentics, number 119 Jermaine Isako for the Dolphins. Patrick Carrigan parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars Anessa Biddle for the Sharks. Jermaine Hopgood parallel for the Eels. World in League Shannon Muru for the Eels. Toby Sexton parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember Abasai Coruscant for the Tigers. Big Tino parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars Cassie Hiku for the Eels. Scott Drinkwater parallel for Cowboys. Alright. Get these tidied up and we'll get into the priority box. Rising Stars Zach Labour for the Cowboys. Jesse Ramian parallel for the Sharks. Season to remember Mackenzie Wiki for the Raiders. Abasai Coruscant parallel for the Tigers. Showcase a group card. Lachlan Croker parallel for Manly. Rising Stars Sandon Smith for the Roosters. Isaac Tago parallel for the Panthers. Taylor Preston Women's NRL for the Sharks. Roosters parallel checklist. World in League Georgia Hale for the Titans. Jamal Fogarty parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars Blake Wilson for the Bulldogs. Jerome Hughes parallel for Storm. Season to remember Luke Brooks for the Tigers. Jack DeBellin parallel for the Dragons. Matt Burton gold parallel for the Bulldogs, number 40. Mitchell Moses parallel for the Eels. Yes, please. Talon De Silva, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Matt Burton parallel for the Bulldogs. First priority, Club Heroes. Wirramir Greig for the Eels, number 23. David Fifita, parallel for the Titans. Sword and Shield, Kalen Ponga for the Knights. Reece Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Thomas Hazelton for the Sharks. Jai Arrow, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Season to remember, Cameron McInnes for the Sharks. Kurt Catewell, parallel for the Broncos. Women's NRL, Taryn Aiken for the Roosters. Tom Gilbert, parallel for the Dolphins. Rising Stars, Wirramir Greig for the Eels. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. World in League, Saitili Tupanua for the Roosters. Jackson Ford, parallel for the Warriors. Ella Costa Gold, parallel for the Dragons, number 4. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Tane for the Warriors. Knight, parallel checklist. Second Club Heroes, Blake Brayley for the Sharks, number 22. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Mia Wood for the Roosters. Dylan Edwards, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Holly Adod for the Raiders. James Tedesco, parallel for the Roosters. Sword and Shield team for the Rabbitohs, number 25. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. World in League, April for the Cowboys. Karen Munster, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, Ryan Couchman for the Dragons. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Season to remember, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Sword and Shield, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Bulldogs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Ryan Rivet for the Knights. Philip Semi parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL, Shaylee Bent for the Knights. Tommy Dearden parallel for the Cowboys. Showcase, Felice Kafusi for the Dolphins. Feta Totola parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Sanua Taruva for Panthers. Ezra Mann parallel for the Broncos. I'm going to go with Teddy. World in League, Adam Fanul Blake for the Warriors. Felice Kafusi parallel for the Dolphins. Season to remember, Kieran Foran for the Titans. Daniel Saifiti parallel for the Knights. 3 packets left. Rising Stars, Sienna Lefipu for the Titans. Challenge Nico Coxstad parallel for the Warriors. World in League, Tyler Wong for the Dragons, number 8. Nico Hines parallel for the Sharks. White Authentic, number 74, Reed Marnie in the Bulldogs. Not a bad way to finish the box. Junior Tupou parallel for the Tigers. Alright, we are now up to the last box of the break, 21 Traders Box. Let's go. Alright, this is our 21 Traders Box. Rising Stars, Max Fegai for the Dragons. Dylan Watine Zalesiak parallel for the Warriors. Dad's been putting them on the corner. Follow his lead, sounds good. That's it. Thank you. Alright, let's get back into it. Payne Haas parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Trayman Spry for the Titans. Nelson Asafa Solomona parallel for Storm. Club Heroes, Toby Rudolph for the Sharks. Blake Ferguson parallel for the Eels. Wildcard, Ben Hunt for the Dragons. Raiders parallel checklist. Oh, there we go. Rising Stars, Caleb Aikens for Panthers. Cody Nikarima parallel for the Warriors. Black Street Art, Dylan Brown for the Eels. CSF Italikai parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Cody Ramsey for the Dragons. Cameron Murray parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Mitchell Dunn for the Cowboys. Nathan Cleary parallel for Panthers. Season to remember, Josh Mansell for the Panthers. Josh Alloy parallel for the Tigers. Dylan Napa parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Dylan Brown for the Eels. Tommy Dearden parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Xavier Coates for the Broncos. Matt Duffy parallel for the Dragons. Jesse Ramian parallel for the Sharks. Wildcard, Boyd Cordner for the Roosters. Joseph Tarpanay parallel for the Raiders. Wildcard, Will Hopewate for the Bulldogs. Jamal Fogarty, a parallel for the Titans. White Streeter, Renato Molatalo for the Sharks. Following kick out, parallel for the Panthers. Season to remember, Mitchell Orbison for the Roosters. Adam Dewey, a parallel for the Tigers. Alright, halfway through our final box. Rising Stars, Bailey Sirinen for the Rabbitohs. Josh Maguire, parallel for the Cowboys. Authentic initials. Saitili Tupanua for the Roosters. Manly parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Sean Bloor for the Tigers. Broncos parallel checklist. Jared Croker parallel for the Raiders. Season to remember, Benji Marshall for the Tigers. Eliza Katoa parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Isaac Lumiloom for the Storm. Boyd Cordner parallel for the Roosters. Tabeta Tatala parallel for the Rabbitohs. Star Tunes, Apasai Coruscant for Panthers. Nick Meaney parallel for the Bulldogs. Season 2 remember, Adam Reynolds for the Rabbitohs. Mitchell Pearce parallel for the Knights. Wildcard, Luciano Leilua for the Tigers. Jordan Piera parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Jermaine Brown for the Warriors. Braden Hill and Yuli parallel for the Sharks. White Streeter, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. AJ Brimslin parallel for the Titans. Season to remember, Chanel Harris-Tavita for the Warriors. Cowboys parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Abradman Best for the Knights. Moses Sulite, parallel for Manly. Parallel Heimel Hunt for the Knights. 3 packets left. Startoons, Luke Brooks for the Tigers. Warriors parallel checklist. Wildcard team for the Tigers. Dale Finucane, parallel for the Storm. And our last packet for the break. Rising Stars, Pawasa for the Roosters. And Ryan Madison, parallel for the Eels. Before everyone goes, just a reminder, we're about to randomise our group cards between all 17 spots. We do have 2 of them, so it'll be 2 times around the merry, or yeah. For those that know, everyone is loaded in and ready to go on that screen. There we are. Alright. Number 1. Number 2. And lucky last, number 3. Aaron Livingston with the Broncos winning our first group card. I will now reset it and we'll do it one more time. Alright, number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3. Peter Lowe with the Titans. Alright guys, well, thank you for joining.